No more Shama, Kama.
What is up, ladies and gents? It's your boy Jermaine Event, main on MMA, and today, ladies and gents, we are checking out this video from MMA Friction, and it is what they believe Leon Edwards needs to do. This is his path to victory, to defeat Sean Brady this weekend as the UFC heads to London. Now, me, myself, right? I know it's the UK. Things are slightly different. I was talking to my boy Ash, and, shout out to Calf Kick Sports, and we were trying to, schedule some time to make some content. And we realized that here in America, we've done daylight savings time. They do as well, but just at a different time. All right. He said at the end of the month, they're going to do daylight savings. And we've already gone through that. So we used to coordinate, and there's a 6-hour difference, and we were missing each other because there's now a 5-hour difference. We lost an hour here. And I say this because I just learned that there's slight differences, right? From the US to the UK. And I believe that math is probably not one of those things that's different, right? Over here, 1 + 1 = 2, right? I believe that's the same over in the UK. So if that's the same, then MMA math is probably the same in the United States that it is in the UK. And if we saw what Bilal did to Leon Edwards, we've seen what Bilal did to Leon Edwards. We've seen what Bilal did to Sean Brady. We see that Sean Brady's only lost one time, and that is to the welterweight champion. Sean Brady is probably the best wrestler. Leon Edwards, I guess he's fought Kamaru. Kamaru's a good wrestler, but I think the way that Sean Brady wrestles is going to be a little tougher for Leon with how much Sean is going to pressure for these takedowns. He's striking with Joe Pyfer. He's training out here. His striking is getting better. I think this is a bad fight. And if MMA math is the same, I think MMA math would tell us that Sean Brady is going to dominate Leon Edwards this Saturday. But let's see what MMA Friction has to say about Leon's only path to victory.
Alright, let's talk about this Saturday, because for Leon Edwards, this is straight up do or die. This fight isn't just about getting back in the win column, it's about proving that he still belongs at the top. After losing the belt, the biggest question is, has he actually improved, or are we about to see the same weakness that got exposed last time? Now, I'm not saying that Leon Edwards is an elite at all. He's absolutely a top tier fighter, but let's be real, his last fight showed some clear holes, especially with dealing with pressure and strong grapplers. And the worst part, the guy he's facing this weekend is exactly the kind of fighter who could take advantage of that. Sean Brady is a nightmare matchup for him. He's got that relentless pressure, strong wrestling, and that grinded out style that gave Leon problems against Bilal and Usman. So if he hasn't made some real improvements, this can go south really fast. That's why this fight is so important. If Leon wins, he shuts everyone up, and he shows that he's leveled up. But if he loses, it just confirms what people have been saying, that he struggles against guys like this. Either way, we're getting some real answers about Leon.
And that tells me that Colby should have dominated, dude. But Colby, it seems like Colby had regressed at that point. If we had prime Colby versus Leon Edwards, especially the way Leon fought, Leon was fighting very conservative against Colby. All right. He wasn't walking through Colby. Prime Colby could have tucked him down, had him up against that fence. And I think that was the hesitation there. Just like we saw with Alex Pereira. That was the threat of the takedown is what made him a little hesitant. And I think the same thing's going to happen here with Sean Brady.
On Edwards this Saturday. But I'm telling you, man, Sean Brady has a real shot at beating Leon Edwards, and honestly, it wouldn't even be that surprising. Stylistically, he presents a lot of the same problems that guys like Usman and Bilal Muhammad gave Leon, but with his own twist. If you look at how those fights played out, there's a clear blueprint on how to beat Leon, and Brady has all the tools to follow, and maybe even improve on it. Leon's biggest weakness has been dealing with relentless pressure and high-level grappling. When he's given space to work, he looks sharp, his striking is crisp, his footwork is clean, and he can dictate the pace. But when someone stays in his face and makes him fight off the back foot and forces him to grapple for extended periods, that's when we see him struggle. Usman exposed that in their first fight and their second fight by taking him down repeatedly, controlling him on the mat, and making Leon work for everything. Even in their trilogy fight, Leon did look better defensively, but Usman was able to take him down and control him at times. And Bilal broke him as well and even dunked him on his head. Now here's why Sean Brady is a dangerous matchup. He does all of that, but with fresher legs, better top control, and a unique level of physicality. Brady isn't the biggest name in the division, but his skill set is a nightmare for Leon. He's an elite.
But he should be. He will be. I feel like Sean Brady could be one of the bigger names as we go on. I've been listening to this argument about the top guys at lightweight we need new people to step in. Like they thought Benoit Saint Denis was gonna step in and be a top guy at lightweight, yada yada yada. I think it's the same with all those. We're coming to a new age of fighters. All our favorite fighters are like 34, 35 up. All right, they're on their way out. And these guys will eventually be pushed to be big stars. We just need to appreciate grappling as a fan base, because I think we see where the sport is going. We see what butters the bread, ladies and gents, and it's grappling. It's a good wrestling game.
Grappler, not just a traditional wrestling sense, but with a strong jiu-jitsu base that allows him to control and suffocate his opponents once he gets them down. He doesn't just take people down, he keeps them down. That's the difference between someone like Usman, who relies on more of a chain wrestling and explosive shot, and Brady, who thrives in suffocating top control and position dominance. Leon's takedown defense has improved, but he's still vulnerable against guys who can chain wrestling and force scrambles. Brady might not be as explosive as Usman, but he's just as relentless, and once he gets his hands on you, he's incredibly difficult to shake off. His transitions are smooth, his pressure is suffocating, and he's excellent at neutralizing strikers by never giving them space to breathe. I mean, if you want a prime example, his fight against Michael Chiesa. I mean, from the jump, Brady was all over him, consistently pressing forward, shooting takedowns, locking in dominant positions, and just refusing to give Chiesa any space to work
I was
with.
hating on Brady in that fight because I felt like Brady was taking him down, but I felt like Chiesa was doing a good job of like trying to sweep, get back up to his feet. I feel like Chiesa was holding his own, but Brady was doing his thing.
Textbook suffocation right there. Every time Chiesa tried to explode or create a scramble, Brady just stuck to him like glue, controlling him with that insane grip strength and top control. Now back then, people questioned Brady's cardio. We saw him slow down in that third round against Chiesa, and yes, that allowed Chiesa to have some late success, but we fast forward to his fight with Gilbert Burns, and you can see the difference. Brady's gas tank has improved massively. Against Burns, he kept that relentless pressure going for all 5 rounds. He didn't just gas out after dominating early, he maintained the pace, kept Burns on the back foot, and even outworked them in the grappling exchanges. That's huge because Gilbert is a high-level BJJ guy.
Yeah,
Brady was
that means nothing. All right, high-level BJJ guy means nothing when we're talking about a high-level wrestler. Okay, I don't know why I thought this back when I was young, when I started training jiu-jitsu. All right, when I was training jiu-jitsu, I thought jiu-jitsu was king. Okay, I thought, oh, this wrestler's gonna come at me, I'm gonna fucking throw up a triangle and choke this bitch out. No. He's got a better skill set to just keep a heavy base, not allow me to just fucking use his momentum against him. He's going to have a heavy base. I'm not going to be able to sweep him. Like, wrestling is king. This jiu-jitsu shit is, you're unless if the other guy doesn't want to play jiu-jitsu, it's very difficult to do jiu-jitsu.
Push forward and land takedowns and control him. So when we're talking about Brady's style, it's not just about him suffocating grappling anymore. It's about the fact that now he can keep up with the entire fight. And if he does that to Leon Edwards, it could be a serious problem for the former champ, because we already seen what happens when Leon gets stuck under guys who doesn't let him get up. And I get it, people underestimate Brady because he doesn't have the biggest name or he's not the flashiest style, but what he does best is brutally effective. effective. If he can push that pace early, force Leon into a grappling exchange, and keep him guessing, he could absolutely grind out into a victory, or even get a late submission, or a TKO. The real question is whether Leon has made enough improvements to shut that style down, because if he hasn't, we could be looking at another night where his biggest weakness gets put on full display. And look, man, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope Leon shows up, because that's what we all need right now. An aggressive Leon Edwards. That's been his biggest issue. He doesn't push the pace. He fights with a low output, but if he comes in with that do or die mentality, it could be a game changer. And we've seen flashes of that before. Look back at the first Bilal Muhammad fight, because...
Chill out. Short notice Bilal Muhammad, who still held his own, ate that head kick, okay? I watched that first fight and I was like, whoa. I was like, Leon should not be cocky. Go back and watch them videos. I was like, whoa. I don't see why Leon is so confident in this fight. If you go back and watch that first fight, so this is a bad reference, all right? Leon did not look that good in this fight.
Before that eye poke ended things, Leon was actually the one pushing the pace. He was stepping forward.
They were, dude, Bilal was at this man. They were going at it. And I'm like, dude, this is Bilal who didn't prepare for this guy. This is Bilal who came in on short notice, just ready to go. And he poked that man in the eye twice. Don't say the eye poke. Yeah, there was an ultimate fight-ending eye poke, but there's multiple eye pokes from Leon. And he was like, oh, come on, bro. We know who's winning that fight, bro. Do we? Because it seemed to me like Bilal was putting that pressure on you, eating that head kick. He said, I ate that shit. All right? You guys laughed. He came back, took that belt.
Setting the tone and forcing Bilal to react instead of letting him get comfortable. He was landing clean, throwing with intent, and controlling the fight in a way we don't always see from him. That's the version of Leon that we need to show up against Brady. Because here's the thing, man. Sean Brady thrives when he gets to dictate the pace. He's not some wild brawler who just charges in recklessly. He's calculated. He likes to close the distance on his terms, push his opponents back, and once he has his hands on them, it's suffocating. If Leon lets him just walk forward, lets him settle in, then he's just going to get back into the fence, taken down, and drowned for 5 rounds. But if Leon takes the initiative, if he pressures first, throws with volume, and makes Brady react to him, then suddenly it's a completely different
I don't think
fight.
it'll happen.
An aggressive Leon can put Sean on the back foot and take his ability to set the rhythm. We've seen how much Sean relies on controlling the pace and keeping things measured, and countering when guys get reckless. But if Leon applies this smart pressure, keeps Sean reacting, and makes him second guess his timing, that's already a huge advantage. Brady isn't a guy who likes to fight going backwards. He's most dangerous when he's the guy who's dictating the pace. He loves dictating the terms, but when you take that away from him, there are openings to exploit. If Leon can keep Brady from feeling comfortable, if he can mix in feints, attack the body earlier, and force Brady to consistently adjust, then he can break that rhythm and make it his fight. We know Leon has the tools. He's a sharp striker, he's incredibly technical, and he's shown that when he fights with urgency, he can be deadly. The problem is, we don't always see that version of him. He likes to fight at a slow pace, keep things at range, and pick his shots. And against Brady, that's dangerous, because Brady is not going to just sit there and play kickboxing games with him. He's going to close the gap, get into a clinch position, and drag Leon into a grinding, ugly fight. If Leon lets that happen, it's going to be a long night for him. But if he fights the way he did in that first Bilal fight, before the eye poke, obviously, if he comes out sharp, aggressive, and confident,
go watch that fight. I don't think you paid attention.
He has the ability to keep Brady from getting comfortable. And if he does that, he has a real chance to shut him down before Brady even gets going. It's all about whether or not he shows up with that mindset. At the end of the day, it all comes down to Leon's mentality. If he fights like he did in that second Usman fight, low output, waiting too much, it's a winnable fight for Sean. But if he brings that third fight version of himself, the one who was mixing it up, who did press forward and got out of range somewhat and stayed active, then I think he has a real shot at taking this fight over. It just depends on whether he's willing to take those risks. But that's the thing though, we've seen it twice now. Leon breaks when things get too tough. The second Bilal Muhammad fight, that wasn't just some fluke loss. That was Bilal taking the fight to him, dragging him into deep waters, and Leon quitting there. And this isn't some random opinion. Watch the fight back. You can see it, the body language, the hesitancy, the way he just let Bilal dictate the pace and completely shut him down. And then let's talk about the second Usman fight. People love to bring up the altitude excuse, but the altitude doesn't make you sit on a stool looking defeated between rounds. It doesn't make you stop fighting back. Leon was mentally done. He was checked out, and
he quit.
He rebounded. Knocked out Usman in the second.
He always looks checked out.
Won the trilogy. Fair play. But this is the core problem with Leon. He's an excellent technician fighter, but he does not have that.
He's a point fighter.
When the fight gets gritty, when he's getting drowned, he doesn't rise to the occasion. He just survives. He's not a fighter's fighter. He's the guy who needs things to be going his way to look great. And that's why I think Sean is going to bully him this Saturday.
Definitely.
He's just going to do what Bilal did, consistently pressure, high output, get on Leon's face, and make him uncomfortable. And once that doubt creeps in, once Leon starts feeling like things aren't going its way, it's a wrap. We've seen it happen before, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again.
Facts. I agree with that completely, man. Shout out to MMA Friction.
Look, man, I hope I'm wrong.
I agree. I agree that is the path to victory. If you if you personally felt like Leon was doing pretty well in that first fight against Bilal, then sure. Yeah, coming forward with the pressure. He needs to come in there like he fought against Nate Diaz for the first 4.5 rounds. All right. Or four rounds and then 4 minutes of the 5th round. And then he got caught. But he was beating the shit out of Nate Diaz in that fight. Very confident that he could. We've seen the hesitance from Leon. We've seen wrestlers, Bilal, Kamaru, have their way with this man. We should have saw Colby Covington have his way with Leon, taking him through the 7th layer of hair. All right. He should have had his way with Leon, but it didn't happen. I think Sean Brady's going to have his way. I agree with MMA Friction that is the correct path to victory, and I agree with his final assessment there that Sean Brady will bully this man on Saturday. I'm going with Sean Brady to get the job done to set up the rematch against Bilal Muhammad, or at least the fight with Kamaru, because I think they're promising that Shavkat gets the next fight. So not really sure what happens there, but I'm rolling with Sean Brady this weekend. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Head on over to MMA Friction, give him a like, give him a subscribe, let him know what you thought about that video. Let me know what other fights you guys are interested in on this UFC London fight card. Got some bangers on there. I was looking at it the other day, trying to plan out a video with Catholic Sports. And we were just going over the card, man. It's a lot of bangers on there. And outside of the bangers, you got a Molly McCann fight. So there's a lot going on this weekend, ladies and gents. Let me know what you guys are excited for. And once again, thank you guys for being here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I will see you guys when I see you. I'll holla.
I'm more Francis Ngannou. I be the biggest problem out of any nigga I know. A little old school like some 45 vinyls. You niggas old duels, what that do to the wino? I do it the commercial way, pay without the splits.